Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I am Valsa Williams with the midday news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asks opposition to stop questioning the valor of armed forces, says entire nation agreed the menace of terror has to be eliminated. President Ramnath Kovind asserts India is firmly committed to peace, but if needed can use all its might to protect its sovereignty. Air Chief Marshal Birender Singh Dhanoa says Pakistan tried to retaliate only because Indian Air Force planes hit the intended targets in Balakot. Pakistani troops violate ceasefire along LOC in Akhnur sector. Election Commission team is visiting Jammu and Kashmir today to assess poll preparedness. Holy dip and special puja in temples mark Mahashivratri festival across the country. Lakhs of devotees take dip at Sangam in Prayagraj. And in women's cricket, England defeat India by 41 runs in T20 match at Guwahati. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today asked the opposition to stop questioning the valor of our armed forces. Speaking after inaugurating various development projects in Jamnagar, Gujarat, he said the entire nation agrees that the menace of terror has to be eliminated. He said we should be proud of our armed forces. Mr. Modi said if India had Rafale aircraft during the recent airstrike on terrorist camps, then the result would have been more positive for us. Referring to Ayushman Bharat, the Prime Minister said India is home to one of the biggest healthcare programs in the world, and the coming of this initiative ensures top quality and affordable healthcare for the poor. Mr. Modi said for many years there was an issue of water shortage in Gujarat and the state has been drought prone. He, however, said the Sardar Sarovar Dam has brought much relief to the people of the state. He said this project was completed despite neglect from earlier state governments and adversities from various quarters. Earlier, Mr. Modi inaugurated the 750-bed annex of Guru Gobind Singh Hospital in Jamnagar. During his two-day visit to the state, the Prime Minister also inaugurated the newly built PG hostel of the hospital. More from our correspondent.
Prime Minister will flag off the first phase of Ahmedabad Metro project at Vastral later today. Total 40 kilometers long first phase of Ahmedabad Metro will ease the hardship of daily commuters in the city, which is being completed at the cost of about rupees 11,000 crore. Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of second phase of Ahmedabad Metro. He will also inaugurate the new building complex of 1,200-bed ultra-modern Ahmedabad Civil Hospital. He will dedicate series of health and railway projects from the same venue, which will boost the healthcare sector in Ahmedabad. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
President Ramnath Kovind has asserted that India remains firmly committed to peace, but will use all her might to protect her sovereignty if the need arises. Speaking at a function at Sulur near Coimbatore this morning, where he awarded colours to the 5-base repair depot at the airbase and the Hakimpet station, he said the country's armed forces, exemplified by the air warriors, reflect India's firm resolve to defend the nation. He pointed out that the valour and professionalism of the armed forces were on display very recently as the Indian Air Force carried out preemptive strikes on a known terrorist camp.
Our armed forces, exemplified by their air warriors who stand before us, reflect our firm resolve to defend our nation. Their valour and professionalism was on display very recently as the Indian Air Force carried out preemptive strikes on a known terrorist camp.
President Kovind said India's growing stature in the Committee of Nations is consistent with the strength and capabilities of her armed forces. President Kovind noted that the Indian Air Force is in the process of a comprehensive modernization plan, keeping pace with the latest advancements.
The Indian Air Force continues to modernize in a rapid manner and is in the process of a very comprehensive modernization plan. Besides safeguarding the sovereign skies of our nation, the Indian Air Force has also been at the forefront of all humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations.
He said the resilience and tenacity displayed by India's valiant air warriors is a great source of pride for the nation. More from our correspondent.
The 5-base repair depot has the distinction of repairing and overhauling the Kiran, Avro and Dornier aircraft, many of which are kept airworthy even after 30 years in service. On the other hand, the Air Force Station Hakimpet has been imparting quality training to the Indian Air Force pilots. It has the distinction of initiating flying training for lady pilots in helicopter stream in 1995 and on fighter stream in 2016. Jai Singh, AAR News, Chennai.
Indian Air Force Air Chief Marshal Birender Singh Dhanoa has dismissed reports that the February 26 airborne Balakot strike missed to hit the terror targets. He participated in the ceremony to present the President's colours to the Sulur-based 5-base repair depot near Coimbatore this morning. Later, talking to the press, the Air Chief Marshal said Pakistan tried to retaliate only because the Indian Air Force operation had been successful. He said the number of casualties due to such operations would be disclosed only by the government, as the Air Force does not assess the exact number of casualties.
The target has been clearly amplified by the Foreign Secretary in his statement. And of course, if he planned to hit the target, we hit the target. Otherwise, why would he have responded? If he had dropped bombs in the jungle, there's no need for him to respond.
He said the MiG-21 Bison was involved in the operation against intruding F-16 aircraft of Pakistan, as they have been upgraded to the level of a 3.5 generation asset. When asked if Wing Commander Abhinandan would be allowed to fly again, he explained that it would depend on his physical fitness post his ejection from the MiG-21 that normally takes a heavy toll on the pilot's body. In Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistani troops today violated ceasefire by targeting forward posts and villages along the line of control in Akhnur sector. A defence spokesperson said in Jammu that the firing from across the border started around 0300 hours and stopped at 0630 hours. He said Pakistan initiated the unprovoked ceasefire violation by firing mortar shells and small arms on forward posts and villages. The spokesperson said security forces retaliated strongly and effectively, adding there was no report of any casualty on the Indian side. This is All India Radio giving you the news.
स्कूल की जब हुई छुट्टी, हम बच्चों ने ये बीड़ा उठाया, आने वाले चुनाव का हर पहलू एक नाटक के जरिए समझाया। हर नागरिक जो जनवरी 1 तक पूरा करेगा 18 साल, वो करवाए अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन हर हाल, और हर योग्य मतदाता को चेक करना है वोटर लिस्ट में अपना नाम, क्योंकि वही मतदाता वोट देकर आएंगे जो अपना नाम वोटर लिस्ट में पाएंगे। तो समय रहते पंजीकरण करना और वोटर लिस्ट में अपना नाम चेक करना भूले ना। इस महा त्योहार एक भी वोटर छूटे ना।
Verify or register on nvsc.in or call Voter Helpline 1950. भारत निर्वाचन आयोग द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
पापा, हमारा पक्का घर बन जाने पर नया सामान लोगे ना?
क्या चाहिए हमारी बिटिया रानी को?
मेरे लिए एक स्टडी टेबल, चेयर और किताबें रखने के लिए एक अलमारी।
हाँ, हमारी बेटी पढ़ लिख कर बड़ी अफसर बनेगी।
क्यों रानी को झूठे सपने दिखा रहे हो?
अरे ये सच है। प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना शहरी स्कीम के अंतर्गत अब हमारे पक्के घर का अधूरा सपना होगा पूरा।
सच?
जी हाँ, अधिक जानकारी के लिए अपने स्थानीय शहरी निकाय से संपर्क करें।
हाउसिंग फॉर ऑल, सबके लिए घर, ये हमारा सपना भी है और संकल्प भी है।
The Election Commission of India's team arrived in Srinagar today on a 2-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir. It will review and take stock of the poll preparedness in view of the upcoming general elections to the Lok Sabha. The commission, headed by Deputy Election Commissioner Sandeep Saxena, is accompanied by 4 other senior officials of the commission. Sources said the team is scheduled to hold meetings with mainstream political parties, including 7 national and 3 regional parties. More from our correspondent.
The state is currently under President's rule for the past over 2 months now. The fresh elections to State Assembly are also due after breakup of PDP-BJP coalition government that followed the imposition of governor's rule for 6 months. The outer limit for holding fresh polls after dissolution of Assembly is 6 months, and for Jammu and Kashmir this deadline ends in May this year. Regional mainstream political parties including National Conference, PDP and others have been actively advocating holding assembly elections to put in place elected government at the earliest. Tariq Rathod, AIR News, Srinagar.
The commission is scheduled to hold similar meetings with political parties, top state administration and security officials after returning to Jammu this evening. The festival of Mahashivratri is being celebrated across the country today with religious fervour and gaiety. Mahashivratri is the most auspicious festival of devotees of Lord Shiva, and the day is observed with fervour and devotion. In Kumbh Mela city at Prayagraj, lakhs of devotees are taking a holy dip in the Sangam on the occasion. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Mela area is full with devotees who are here at different ghats to take the holy dip at Sangam. Influx of devotees increased as it is the last auspicious Snan of Kumbh 2019. Special arrangements are in place at Shiv temples across the city and Mela area on the occasion of Mahashivratri. The Kumbh Mela, which began on January 15 at the Sangam with the Shahi Snan of Makar Sankranti, will conclude with the last auspicious bathing of Mahashivratri today. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, Kumbh Mela city, Prayagraj.
In Sri Lanka, the festival of Mahashivratri is being celebrated with religious fervour and enthusiasm by the Tamil Hindu community across the country. People are seen visiting temples and offering prayers to Lord Shiva. The day has been declared a public holiday with schools and offices remaining closed. The President, Prime Minister and other dignitaries have greeted people on the occasion. A report from our Colombo correspondent.
Since morning, people were seen offering special pujas and offerings in Shiva temples across the country. Special programs have been organized during the night to mark the occasion. Sri Lanka has some of the oldest Shiva temples, including 5 lingams in all corners of the island. These temples are in existence since age of Ramayana and are visited by Hindu followers from within the country and abroad. Santosh Kumar for AIR News from Colombo.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its weekly bilingual live phone-in program Public Speak this evening will bring you a discussion on Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. Listeners can ask questions to the experts sitting in our studio on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. Repeat, 1800-115767. The DMK in Tamil Nadu has signed a seat-sharing deal with the Viduthalai Sirutaigal Katchi VCK ahead of the forthcoming Lok Sabha polls. DMK President M.K. Stalin signed the agreement at the party headquarters Anna Arivalayam in Chennai with the Dalit outfit leader Tol Tirumavalavan this morning. The deal was reached at the end of the second round of talks between the two parties. In the United States, the death toll has risen to 22 after powerful tornadoes struck Lee County in eastern Alabama. Lee County Sheriff Jay Jones said several people have been hospitalized, some with very serious injuries. He said the toll could rise as the rescue efforts had to stop until dawn due to the danger of searching in the dark. The sheriff described the damage caused by the storm as catastrophic. The violent storms left debris strewn across southern Alabama and Georgia, the Florida Panhandle, and into parts of South Carolina. France has reiterated its support for India as a permanent member of the UN Security Council, UNSC. France, which assumed the March presidency of the UNSC, reiterating its support for India, Germany and Japan as permanent members of an expanded council, said that enlargement of the powerful UN body in both permanent and non-permanent categories is the first crucial part towards UNSC reform. England beat India by 41 runs in the first Women's T20 International in Guwahati today. Chasing a target of 161 runs, the Indian team could only make 119 for the loss of 6 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. Deepti Sharma 22 and Shikha Pandey 23 were the top scorers. For England, Catherine Brunt and Lindsay Smith took 2 wickets each. Earlier put into bat, England made 160 runs for the loss of 4 wickets. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asks opposition to stop questioning the valour of armed forces, says entire nation agreed the menace of terror has to be eliminated. President Ramnath Kovind asserts India is firmly committed to peace but if needed can use all its might to protect its sovereignty. Air Chief Marshal Birinder Singh Dhanoa says Pakistan tried to retaliate only because Indian Air Force planes hit the intended targets in Balakot. Pakistani troops violate ceasefire along LOC in Akhnur sector. Election Commission team visiting Jammu and Kashmir today to assess poll preparedness. Holy dip and special puja in temples marks Mahashivratri festival across the country. Lakhs of devotees take dip at Sangam in Prayagraj. And in women's cricket, England defeat India by 41 runs in T20 match at Guwahati. With that, we end the midday news.